Hi guys, I've been seeing Nigerian media reporting that the US has excluded the United Kingdom from its visa waiver program for 2025. This is not accurate. I'm not sure where they are finding this information, but the credible source to confirm visa and immigration news in the US is the USCIS's website. And as of this moment, for 2025, British citizens remain eligible to travel to the US under the visa waiver program for stays of up to 90 days without obtaining a visa. They listed all the countries that are eligible for visa waiver on their website, and the United Kingdom is number 1 on that list. So please disregard any report that says otherwise. The only thing is travelers from Europe must obtain a valid electronic system for travel authorization, ESTA, which they've been doing since 2008. They said it could take up to 72 hours for it to be approved, but mostly it processes instantly. Now, speaking of immigration to the US, I know that Trump recently announced the $5 million gold visa, but for anybody that is thinking of moving to the US at this time and being able to work as soon as you land, the H-1B visa is still one of the easiest routes. The lottery is opening back up again on March 7th. And for now, they said it will close on the 24th, but sometimes they extend the deadline. Now, I announced this same opportunity last year, introducing Vesti, an immigration company based in Texas. And there were a lot of issues at that time regarding the amount that Vesti charged. It was a really rough time for me as well. I was being dragged left and right. Some people believed that it was a scam, that I was trying to scam them, but it wasn't. It wasn't a scam. I had to do a number of videos at the time, but people have also been asking me for updates. So here is the update. 231 people were selected from Vesti's entry in that lottery last year, but only 115 of those that were selected went on to actually process their visas. Some of them didn't have money to proceed. Now, 87 of the 115 primary applicants have been approved so far, with about 121 dependents, that is their spouses, their children, and of that number, more than 40 of them, more than half of them, the primary applicants have already arrived in the US with their family members. They started arriving in America September of last year. That's why it's one of the fastest ways. And these are some of them on video talking about their experience.
My name is Emmanuel Ibeka.
My name is Olumide Akonde.
My name is Chibuzo.
My name is Kadiri Oluwatomilola.
A friend forwarded me a video from Instagram also.
I had tried several routes to travel, but they never worked out.
I got to know about it through my sister.
My wife got to know through a YouTube channel.
I just got an email that from the Home Office in US that I've been selected.
I was shocked when I got the email, that congratulatory email, that I was selected for this.
I've never won raffle or lottery in my life.
And she said, let's try it. And we did. I was being selected.
I have a friend in Germany. Recently we spoke and I told him that I'm in the US and he was so surprised.
Now, I played that just to clear the air that it wasn't a scam. And the only reason I'm announcing it again this year, because this is not an advert. Please, I don't want to be involved at all this time around. Vesti is not the only one doing it. You can find other immigration companies if you are interested. But the reason that I'm announcing it again is because it's a legit opportunity for you to move to the US and work, and it's also a fast route. Although because of all that Trump is doing lately, people are looking into other countries right now. But one thing that I want to stress is if you're interested, you can do this by yourself. And I said it last year as well. You can simply go on USCIS's website. You don't have to go through Vesti or any company. But if you do decide to go through Vesti, please do that because you want to. Please don't involve me. If you decide on your own that you want to go through Vesti because of their success rate, this is their link on the screen. I'll also put it in the description. Now keep in mind that because USCIS has increased their lottery entry price from $10, it was $10 last year, this year is $215. So because of that, immigration companies have also increased their prices. Vesti was $300 last year to enter the lottery. This year it is $415 if you have an employer or a company that is offering you a job. But if you don't, it is $715 to enter the lottery. Not only that, if you are selected in the lottery and you want to move on to process your visa, this year Vesti is charging $8,250 for legal fees, documentation, support, and government fees. Once again, you can contact them about their prices before you make any payment. Please, I actually would advise that if you decide to go ahead. And like I said, you don't have to go through them. If you are selected, you can process it by yourself. Another Nigerian company that I know that is doing it is Devine Travels and Tour. I have never used their service. I don't know much about them. But if you are interested, you can also contact them. See, I'm giving you options so you won't think that, they want you to call them or email them for details. They are not making their price, their charges public. They are not making it public. So you have to talk to them if you want to use them. The one thing that they are promising is if you go through them and you are selected and you work with them in America, they are saying if you work with them for 3 years, that they will ensure that you get your green card. Once again, I cannot vouch for anybody. I'm just telling you this is an opportunity and I'm giving you options. And if you don't want to use Nigerians, you can Google immigration offices in America. You will see different options. You can call them to find out their prices. Please don't forget that you must have a degree to apply for this lottery. So I watched Senator Natasha Akpoti's interview on Arise News. If you missed it, please watch it. It's on YouTube. The summary is she said that Senator Akpabio has been punishing her for a long time because she refused to have an affair with him. She gave several scenarios. I wish that they made more time for her to actually finish what she was saying, but they didn't have enough time. I looked through the comments while she was speaking, while she was live, and I realized that there are so many Nigerians who still prefer to dismiss a woman each time she exposes sexual misconduct at work, and it's just heartbreaking. We still don't believe our women. We were waiting, by the way, for the Senate President to come out, tell his side of the story, only for his wife to call a press conference. That her husband is a disciplined man who has regards for her and her children, and he would never take a woman somewhere. And then she said if what Senator Natasha Akpoti was saying is true, then Senator Natasha's husband should have called her to talk about it. I'm like, that's weird. Hello, madam. Do you know your husband is hitting on my wife? Like, what is this woman talking about?
And I believe that for somebody to go and make such an allegation, there must be a discussion at home. And if the approval has come from the husband, our friend, I believe that he would have spoken to me because we are close. He's close to my husband.
Wow. And then she said if Senator Natasha's husband didn't give her the permission to go on TV and speak out publicly, but she's doing so, does he even have control over her?
If he didn't give her the approval to go on air and make such an allegation, then the question is, does he have control?
Wow. Okay. First of all, I don't know why she's giving a press conference. Her husband is the one accused of sexual misconduct. Why is Madam speaking on behalf of her husband? And it's quite sad what marriage means to her, that one person should control the other, because maybe that is her own arrangement with the Senate President. Maybe he's even the one telling her to do the press conference. We don't know, and quite frankly, we don't care. But believe it or not, madam, people who love each other don't have any interest in controlling one another. They believe each other and they support each other, not control. So it's really, really weird, all this word control that you are using. Please just tell the accused to speak out. Tell your husband to speak out, because this is not the first time that your husband is being accused of sexual misconduct. Even you said it in that video that this mud, they are throwing mud at you, and this mud is too much. If a number of people are accusing him of something, maybe you should talk to him instead of trying to tell the women to keep quiet. I also saw the interview by Senator Ireti Kingibe after Senator Natasha's interview, and the summary of what Senator Ireti said is that Senator Natasha shouldn't have approached the issue the way she did. She should have approached it the way she would have done it and the other female lawmakers, which, according to Senator Ireti, she said that what she does is to fight the Senate President, but not in public, fight him in private. She wanted Senator Natasha to withdraw the lawsuit and fight in private. Unfortunately, based on what she said, it has not been working even for her, because the Senate President continues to humiliate her publicly while she is fighting him privately. Not only that, she said that her seat has been moved 4 times, which means whatever she's doing is not working. Not that they can't rearrange their sittings, but we got to find out that you can be moved to somewhere where you will be considered irrelevant, which is what Senator Natasha is fighting. But Senator Ireti is saying that she has been moved 4 different times, you know. And she kept saying that she's older, so she's wiser, she's more experienced, she can give back to Senator Natasha.
Truly, the Senate can do better than it's doing, but there's hardly anything that's been done to us that's not done to other men. This is not the way this should be handled. We've heard it said everywhere that the 3 women in the Senate have been silent. Yes, because silence is golden, especially when one of us is not following the rules.
By now, it should be obvious that our generation will not put up with what your generation would put up with. For a lot of us young people looking up to Senator Ireti, we were hoping that she would first and foremost praise Senator Natasha for speaking out publicly and not being silenced, not letting anybody silence her. Because evil prevails, sometimes because it's done in secrecy. And say that even though you have never experienced something like that, it doesn't nullify Senator Natasha's experience. And then you take it from there that, okay, it would be honorable for the Senate President to give his own side of the story that we're trying to hear from both sides, instead of basically condemning her for coming out to speak publicly and telling her to do things the way you would have done it.
The Senate is not a place where we are supposed to be fighting over trivialities like sitting arrangements. It's a place where we're supposed to fight about issues that affect the people. And that's why this whole thing is a non-issue.
If you cannot fight for one of your own, how can Nigerians have confidence that you will fight for the rest of us?
Some people would have said that Rosa Parks shouldn't have fought for her seat in what became a historic movement for the empowerment of not just Black people, but women as well. So sometimes it begins with a fight over a seat.
Anyways, guys, please make sure that you watch those interviews online. You can watch them. So a few months ago, I told you about a viewer of the show, my uncle, my Ebo, who was diagnosed with cancer. I told you that his biggest wish was to sell his hand sanitizers that he was planning on taking to Nigeria so that he won't leave that burden with his family. But we didn't sell much. A lot of people didn't buy because they didn't know who it was. They didn't know if it was real. He didn't let me put up his picture or say his name, which is understandable because his aged parents, his aged mom is on social media. His dad recently turned 80. And he didn't know what he was battling with. Only his siblings knew. But yesterday, Ajagbe went to be with the Lord. He fought really hard. Till the very end, he believed. He fought so hard. The family's memory, of course, is the most important one. They're the ones that would miss him every day, every holiday. Every Christmas, every Easter, every Father's Day, every Mother's Day, on his birthday, on their birthday, just to name a few. So his family's memory is the most important one. But I just like to say that he was my family. But actually, I knew me since I was a child. He watched me grow. He never hesitated. He never held back in encouraging me to be all that I'm meant to be. He's been watching my videos since I was in grad school, even before I started keeping it real. He never missed an episode. Even on his deathbed, he never missed an episode except for this one. Except for this one. He believed so much in Nigeria. He's been wanting to move back to Nigeria for a long time. He represented Nigeria everywhere he went. If he's not wearing agbada, he would wear a cap. A fila, even if it's a formal event. He was the biggest ambassador of Nigeria, always spreading Nigerian music, Afro, gospel, you name it. He believed so much in Nigeria. We would talk for hours on the phone, and the agreement was that he would come on the show once he gets well. Last month, he started getting well. He was able to speak well. He was eating a little. He told me they couldn't even tell if he still had cancer anymore. Oh, we praised God. But about 3 weeks ago, things changed. The cancer started spreading. He would still talk to me and Victor until he became really weak. And then we would text and he would respond. Yesterday morning he replied my text. And I sent new ones to him, only to get a call later that he's gone. My deepest condolences to everybody that knew him, everyone that knew him in Nigeria, as well as those who knew him in the Nigerian community here in America. He was very popular. He was there for everybody. And I can't even imagine what his wife, Auntie Bumi, his children, and his parents, his siblings in Nigeria, what they're going through right now. I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry to all of you. But the reason I'm sharing this is to plead with anybody out there who can, please. We're trying to raise money for his funeral and for his family because this disease really drained them. I set up a GoFundMe. Please kindly donate if you can. No amount is too small. His birthday is next week, Tuesday, March 4th. And we're planning the birthday. Unfortunately, that is the day we will be burying him in Kentucky. There will be another service to honor his life, his legacy. That day will be announced later. But if anyone that knows him wants to be at the funeral, and if you have any questions, it will be this coming Tuesday. If you have any questions, please contact the number on the screen. And whether you can donate or not, please pray for his wife, his children. He was supposed to be 56 on Tuesday, so he was very young. Please don't forget to hug your loved ones extra tight tonight. Tell your children that you love them. Don't just assume that they know. Tell your spouses that you love them. If you have not checked on your loved ones or friends in a long time, please do. And please never hold back in telling people exactly how you feel about them. In the coming weeks, I will be talking about the importance of life insurance. Him and I discussed it. And I'll bring people on the show to enlighten us. But please, help us. Donate if you can. You don't even know the kind of expenses we have right now. I'll be going to Kentucky, of course, to be with the family, so I'm not sure when I'll be doing another show. But I won't disappear on you guys. I know he's in a better place, and he's no longer suffering. But that doesn't make it easy. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're here too. I love you guys, like I really do. And I appreciate you.